So I'm Jonathan Masters. And as an American, I get to pursue my own happiness. I get to be whatever I want to be. I get to be all that I can be as an American. I'm an anti-fascist. I'm an anti-racist. I'm an anti-war revolutionary. I'm pro-justice, pro-love, pro-peace, pro-freedom. I'm in favor of a rainbow coalition. Just like Fred Hampton said, I'm in favor of Willis Russell and Bass Reeves. Yeah, I'm an American. I was born here. So yeah, I'm an American. Sure, I'm an American, I guess. I was born here, but I'm more of a Coloradan. I'm more of a Castilla County than an American because I believe in freedom. I believe in Colorado. I believe in democracy. I believe in marijuana. I believe in referendum initiative and recall. So hell yeah, California, eat your heart out. You ain't the only motherfuckers that can recall their political officials. The Centennial State can do it too. Here's Larry Elder, quoting Teddy Roosevelt. Larry Elder is a snowflake when it comes to the term African American. So the right wing, okay.
Here's what Teddy Roosevelt said about hyphenated Americans. There is no room in this country for hyphenated Americanism. When I refer to hyphenated Americans, I do not refer to naturalized Americans. Some of the very best Americans I have ever known were naturalized Americans born abroad. But a hyphenated American is not an American at all. This is just as true of the man who puts native before the hyphen as of the man who puts German or Irish.
If you hyphenate American, you're not an American at all. Okay, Teddy Roosevelt, shut the fuck up. I'm a Coloradan American, and I think that gives me more flavor. That makes me a more interesting American. I'm a Coloradan American, a Castilla County American, an anti-fascist American. And Teddy Roosevelt clearly doesn't understand federalism because you got to be loyal to your own state as well as your country. So there's two governments, your state government and the federal government. So me being a Coloradan, does that make me an American or not an American? I think being a Coloradan by default makes me an American, right? So you can be both a Coloradan and American, and then what, you're going to question you love Colorado? Well, you don't love America. Motherfucker, Colorado is an American state. Colorado is also a republic. It's a very well-defined nation-state, a democratic republic, a very democratic republic. And the most important thing about Colorado is that it's not an empire like America. America has colonized. America has taken over land and people that's not theirs. They're not adopting them as citizens. They are just dominating over them. They are just oppressing and colonizing and occupying them. They're not bringing them into the family. They're not bringing them into the nation state. And while I'm only limited to being a European and African, my bloodlines only limits me to being a European and an African. I'm not an Asian. I'm not a Native American. But if I was a Native American, if I was born a Shawnee or an Apache or Kiowa, Cherokee, Lenape, or Comanche or the Ho-Chunk, I'd still be a motherfucking Shawnee. And fuck your goddamn America bullshit. If I'm Shawnee, I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. And when I was younger, you motherfucking whites, you goddamn Caucasians, you motherfuckers thought you were being smart. When I was younger, when I'm a kid, I'm playing cowboys and Indians. And when we played cowboys and Indians, guess who they made the Indian? But guess what? I took that role, and I went on a whole nother fucking level with it. My people, my oppressed red brothers and sisters have been here for 14,000 motherfucking years. And you motherfuckers just got here yesterday. So who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? There's nothing wrong with being a conservative. Just don't be a fucking asshole. Just don't be a criminal, motherfucking wicked psychopath that takes pleasure in other people's pain.
Spirit and of the soul. Our allegiance must be purely to the United States. We must unsparingly condemn any man who holds any other allegiance. The one absolutely certain way of bringing this nation to ruin of preventing all possibility of its continuing to be a nation at all would be to permit it to become a tangle of squabbling nationalities, an intricate knot of German Americans, Irish Americans, English Americans, French Americans, Scandinavian Americans, or Italian Americans, each preserving its separate nationalities.
One of the causes of World War I and World War II is nationalism, blind nationalism. It's okay to be patriotic, but you can't be a overzealous fucking nationalist. So I don't mind people being a conservative. In fact, I would rather you just think for yourself, being independent, but there's nothing wrong with being a conservative, wanting to keep things the same. There's nothing wrong with thinking for yourself. In fact, that's the best thing. Think for yourself. People don't know how to control a person that thinks for themselves. So if you don't know how to be, you don't know how to act, don't be a fucking asshole. Don't be a low-life piece of shit, wicked psychopath. Don't be a racist, fascist, criminal motherfucker. Okay? Don't be a racist, fascist, criminal motherfucker. At the very least, do find some Jesus, for fuck's sake. If you can't think for yourself, at least start out with Jesus. And I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay because that's the American that I am. That's the America that I live in. Yours in Christ, John Jack Masters. R.I.P. Jovenel Moyes. R.I.P. Jill Stein forever. Jill Stein